Today on episode 30 of the Home of Play podcast, Spider-Man's Peter Parker gets a new look, Cyberpunk 2077 is in crunch mode, and PlayStation cross-save controversy. All that and more.
Let's hear that intro. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 30 of the Home of Play podcast, where every Monday the two best friends join forces to give you all the latest in PlayStation rumors, news, and reviews, and that's because we're the true PlayStation fans. I'm your host, Steve, and with me I'm joined by the king of platinum trophies himself, Christopher.
Hello.
Yay, he responded. If you enjoy this and would like to support the podcast, then head over to our YouTube page where you can find our latest episodes by searching the Home of Play podcast. Please consider subscribing, dropping a like if the spirit moves you, winky wink. If you are already listening to this on our YouTube channel, then guess what? We're a podcast. So you can find us on many of your podcast services of choice, such as Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that good stuff. If you could possibly give us a 5-star review on those services, as well as make others aware of our content through the power of word of mouth, it would be extremely appreciated. Every month we're growing, and it's all because of you lovely gamers helping to spread the cause. If you have any burning questions, comments, or complaints, please leave any of those on our YouTube videos, as we want to hear from you. We can then read your questions on the show while we watch Spider-Man slowly go Benjamin Button on us and drop freaking 10 years of age. So, yay, that's fun. On today's episode, we have 7 news articles to discuss, but first, as always, let us begin with what we've been up to this last week. Chris, what have you been up to?
A little bit here, a little bit there. Finished the... That was loud. Shit, that was loud. Oil can.
It's truly October, and we are haunted. It sounds like that front gate in every horror movie.
Yeah. This week I have been.
It's like grandma.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, this week I have finished Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh.
Got the platinum on that. And then kind of been trying the DLCs. I guess there was quite a few for that one when it came out. So I finished, I think, 2 of them. The other ones are kind of like, I guess, endurance-based ones where you have to like survive in the wilderness for X amount of days. So I'm not too sure how that even works yet. So
did you put on the VR to walk through the mansion?
I could try that.
Because that was the big thing when it finally came to PlayStation after the exclusivity. They were like, oh, there'll be a VR mode. You just walk in a mansion. And I'm like, okay.
I guess I could try that. I do have the setup for it, so I could, but I don't know. I did the mansion like already, the side missions. So apart from that, I have been playing, well, you convinced me to get Among Us, even though we didn't even try it. But conveniently, when I picked it up, my buddy and his family and their friends were going to play. And so we ended up getting a group of like, I think 7 people, which was a lot of fun. It's fun. It was tough the first time we played because everybody used their kind of like funny names, but they all knew each other and I didn't know them. So they would say so-and-so's name and it's like, but that person's name isn't on the screen, so I don't know who's talking. So
yeah.
It was really confusing. So the next time we tried, we ended up getting 9 people. And I'm like, everybody, can we use our real names, please? Because it's confusing when you don't know everybody.
The best is I saw a group of people that agreed to name themselves a different color that's in the game.
Oh yeah.
So
like
red would name
himself
himself black, and like watching people fall apart at that one because you know you're on a timer, right?
Yeah.
And then it's so funny. You'd be like, no, everyone vote black, but he's referring to the color of the character,
not the name,
not the name. So then it confused everyone. They ejected the wrong person, and then they're like, damn it. It's so good.
Oh, I can totally see that happening. It's a lot of fun. Tried all 3 maps a little bit. One map is definitely more made for more people for sure, and maybe even 2 imposters. But it's fun having people turn on each other and learning people's personalities and stuff like that. So
seeing the real
I won
monster,
a couple rounds. Yeah, see the real monster. How impressively scary some people can lie. Well, I did surprisingly pretty good a couple times. One time I was like, they voted me out, and I was like, I was the imposter, but I was like, I didn't do anything at all. Let's just vote Chris. I was like, what? But it was it was a lot of fun. Apart from that, I think I did a little bit of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, not on the PlayStation, but on PC. That's pretty much it, and maybe a little bit of Fall Guys, maybe a little bit, a couple rounds. I think a buddy of mine, he hadn't played that yet, so we tried that for the first time, and I got another crown. Yay! But yeah,
Does a crown just mean you won?
you can get crowns by winning the tournament, or there's kind of like a battle pass in the game, but it's a free battle pass. And getting certain ranks gives you a crown every once in a while, but few and far between.
Okay.
And then you can use the crowns for cosmetics. So
Okay.
but yeah, it's pretty fun. It's goofy. I'm looking forward to the second season when they're kind of going medieval themed.
Yeah.
Those will be fun mini games, I'm sure. But the big patch they did a couple weeks ago, they've added more obstacles and stuff like that. So it's been good.
Sweet.
That's pretty much it for my week. How about you? What are you? I don't think I've seen you online. Have I seen you online?
Maybe. Okay, so this week was weird. So I got my 4K TV finally, the LG CX 65-inch or something like that.
Nice.
And so it's OLED. It's all like happy stuff. I've never had a 4K TV yet or any way of seeing 4K. So this week's been test out the TV week. So I'm trying like Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon. Freaking Amazon Prime's the worst for 4K content from my perspective. And then I tried some games, not a lot. I can't even remember what I told you I tried. Ghost of Tsushima was one of them. That one was more HDR great in my opinion, but it never was like, oh, I'm ready to just, well, you can't even dive back in. I really wish that game had a new game plus already. So then, yeah, I went back to Spider-Man and
you mentioned God of War, but I don't know if you tried it.
I didn't try it. I should, but I'd have to reinstall. I thought I still had it on my hard drive. I guess I didn't. So I'd have to reinstall it. So yeah, I just played a lot of Spider-Man this week, actually. Like the 4K made me try it just to see the HDR and all that stuff. And then I just kept playing. Maybe just because I'm excited for Miles Morales. I don't know.
I haven't tried Spider-Man yet on my TV too yet, so it's on my list of things to do this month because this month I think's pretty quiet other than Watch Dogs at the end of it. So
yeah,
it's probably going to be my next thing to do.
Yeah, I definitely noticed a difference in his suit clarity, like seeing different textures. So it's kind of cool. Like one of the suits you get from Black Cat, suddenly I was like, I didn't never like this till like it's now my third favorite suit to wear next to both the Tom Holland ones that they have in the game. So I was like, okay, cool. Like that's really great. And it's sharper for sure.
The other one that you mentioned was The Witcher, man. Talk about that.
Yeah. The Netflix series you're referring to. Yeah. I turned on that and I was like, oh wow. Like the fight scene with the creature I think it's the very first scene.
It's like a bog or a swamp or something.
I just never could see it when I had the 1080p plasma. And now I'm like, oh crap. Like it has a face and I know what's happening now, and there was a deer. And it's just like all these things where I'm like, wow, HD, like more than 4K, I think HDR is the future.
That's what you should do. You should go back, watch the Game of Thrones episode where the defense against the White Walkers, where you can't see anything through 70% of the episode. Maybe try that on the TV.
Everyone told me that. They're like, it's actually viewable if you have it well, you have to have it in with the HDR. Because weirdest thing ever is like I've heard this from a lot of people that HBO's streaming service is like the worst out there. Like it couldn't even really do 1080p. So I think I'd have to get the Blu-rays, which again, my problem always seems to be I'm waiting for the PS5 to have a Blu-ray player.
And nobody wants to buy the last season of Game of Thrones on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
No, you're 100% right. So
that as a free disc for the other seasons.
Honestly, like HBO should just give it out free at this point. So yeah, no, I did a lot of that. Really enjoying Spider-Man again the second time. I'm almost complete the second playthrough.
Nice. I'm looking forward to doing that one again.
Yeah, so that was good. And then
did you do the DLC before you finished the play? Like
so I finished my first playthrough, and then as the DLCs came out, I think I saved 2 back to back, beat them, and then very shortly after the third came out, I already beat that, and then I started my new game plus.
Okay.
And then I tried Genshin Impact. We talked about that because it was on one of the PlayStation showcases a couple months back. This is the weird one where like I feel bad for saying it because there's so many articles of them coming out being like, we're not just a Breath of the Wild clone because people keep bringing it up, but it kind of is, at least in my like weird small bite-sized like taste of it. It's very Breath of the Wildish.
And I was kind of mentioning too, based on your impression of that one, was I think the Gods and Monsters, or whatever it's called, Phoenix Rising, is probably going to be what I think a lot of people wanted Zelda to be. I mean, don't get me wrong, Zelda got ridiculous reviews, and a lot of praise, but I think this one might do it better.
I hope so, because there's the problem with it is it's free to play, and that always has a little siren go off in the back of my head. So I turn it on, and there's nothing predatory at first. I hear later, I can't remember what they said, but I think there's characters and like they have roles, and later you buy better roles apparently, and that will be where the pay to win kind of comes in. But it is a single player game. I heard there's some cooperative stuff, but it's not like pay to win multiplayer matches kind of shenanigans. So nothing super bad. It's just like, okay, whatever. And then I just found the combat meh. Like I don't even think there was a block button, and I'm just like, okay, that's where I'd say Breath of the Wild had a better combat system. Now the weapons breaking was complete crap and ruined that game completely. So I guess Genshin Impact's better in that sense. And then the climbing's exactly like Breath of the Wild. You jump on anything, you just stuck to it. And then you have a stamina bar. So it's like, oh, don't run out of stamina. So I'm like, there's a lot of similarities. It's a very open world. That's cool. But then I'd say Genshin Impact's better in the sense of like, oh, there's scripted lines and there's cutscenes and there's story and like there's actual cities and towns and castles. And I'm like, okay, like it already seems like there's more development here. There was some chugging, which is unfortunate considering it's not a very like crazy game. It doesn't look, it's not 4K. There's no reason I feel like that game should have some chugging, so it could be developmental issues. But yeah, I think that's the only stuff I tried. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of time this week again, so that was just a few things I was able to dabble into.
Now that we are caught up, should we jump into the news?
Number 1, we have a new Peter Parker coming into the remastered Spider-Man.
As well as some new gameplay.
Yes, we did get a little...
comparison video.
There you go, that's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, anyway, we got new videos, a little bit, one story, or like, yeah, story video, a cutscene, and with showing us what we can expect out of the new 4K Peter Parker. And then we got a comparison video basically just showing us 2018's Marvel Spider-Man versus the remastered 2020 version of that. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll go with the easy one, which is the comparison video.
Mm-hmm.
Did it look better? Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Definitely looked way better, the environment and everything.
That's where I'm like, they said...
The draw distance.
If you yeah, that's amazing too. But they said if you play... the version I'm playing, like the 2018, like that there's HDR, but I'm like, it ain't that HDR, because that HDR looks a lot better. So I want me some of that. Like I'm definitely buying the $70 version to get this, like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 new suits, because I'm a sucker for those suits. I gotta have them all,
and they all look good. Even the bad ones look good.
Yeah,
and like there are.
There's bad ones, like the Fantastic Four with the bag on his head.
Yeah. Like, but like, it still is like, I want it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Give me more options, like for sure.
Yeah, if you watch the comparison video, you could definitely see the improvements across the board. I guess we get more to the controversy of the whole article.
Yeah,
is that they definitely significantly changed Peter Parker's face, so he looks quite a bit younger. Which is weird because the timeline of the story and everything makes it seem like he's been Spider-Man for 8 years, I think, if I recall. And he's is he in his 20s? I can't remember if he's in his 20s.
Yeah,
yet.
I think he's supposed to be, because
like
he's graduated.
Yeah, I thought he was in like college or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the character model changed now. He looks like younger than Tom Holland even does, and Tom Holland's in high school according to the movies. And he just, I don't know, he looks very kiddish. He doesn't look bad, in my opinion. He just looks really young for what the story is about. I don't know, what were your feelings on this?
Okay, so from what I can understand is Insomniac came out, the studio needed someone else to do facial capture that better matched the performance of the voice actor. The voice actor being Yuri Lowenthal. They wanted the new, for whatever reason, they think in the future it's going to be an issue to kind of
the next gen system.
Yeah, to match him with the face
for like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, I don't know how to properly say it, but yeah, anyway, to match his face on like his, because I guess they're tracking the voice actor's face, but they're trying to have it with this other guy's face, and they're
It's not matching
The
well.
faces are not compatible for some reason.
Yeah.
So they need this new face. But I don't understand. Like, okay, you pick that Peter Parker voice actor, fine. But if you don't know, that voice actor's 49 years old. And I'm like, okay, that's really strange. So in my opinion, you're never going to find someone that's going to match a 50-year-old's face to a character that's supposed to be in his 20s, which this isn't the first time. I'm not even upset about that. But it's just like, if that was going to be your excuse, it just seems like weird to me. And then the other problem is, he doesn't look, I guess if you said, does he look closer to the actor, the voice actor? Yes, I guess. But here's the bigger problem. I think that you kind of agree with me. Like, he looks like he's 13 and a half now.
Yeah, he looks extremely young.
And we're supposed to have a Peter Parker that's, college age. I don't know exactly, but if I was to guess, he's been Spider-Man for 8 years. I assume he's 22 to 24 years old. Yeah, there's no way you could sell me that this guy's 24 years old. He looks like something out of my nightmare. Like, it just doesn't look right to me. And maybe that's just because I've played through the Spider-Man twice now. I've accepted their version of Peter Parker in my head. It seems like they intentionally made Peter Parker look younger.
Yeah, they did.
That's weird. I
mean, they need to, because he's not 26 in the game, but they overshot it a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's weird and off-putting, and I'm not particularly happy about it. I don't think it's going to ruin anything for me, but even like Miles Morales is going to look 20 years older than him. It's really strange. And like, yeah, and like, is MJ going to change? Because she looked around that age, like ballpark 24, 25-ish.
Yeah, he looks quite a bit younger than MJ.
And like, maybe it's just this one scene's not doing it justice. I really hope that's the case.
And hopefully, yeah, that is what it is.
I really hope. But yeah, the internet's on fire about that, and I'm not thrilled with it either, but it's not something I'm going to, like, it's not the hill I want to die on either. So I don't have the strongest feelings, but it is what it is, and we take it as it is. And guess what? Number 2.
Number 2. Cyberpunk is now in crunch mode. CD Projekt Red is reportedly enacting mandatory 6-day work weeks to finish work on Cyberpunk 2077 in time for its November release. The studio previously promised employees that there will be no mandatory crunch to finish the highly anticipated RPG. Well, that failed.
Well, look, they tried, right? How many delays can you have?
Yeah, like,
and they delayed big. Wasn't it 9? I think it's 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, I think it was 8 months.
Because the first one was 6, and then it was another 2, right?
I think so. Yeah,
September, October, November. Yeah, so it's 8 months.
I mean, I understand crunch mode. I just hope it's polish. Don't, like, I understand. I mean, crunch mode sucks. Let's be honest. You don't want to hear these people being forced to do this stuff, but hopefully it's not these major issues where it's like fundamentally, oh, this car, when you hit the gas, it goes up into the sky.
like everything is Skyrim.
Oh my god, my character walked through a wall. Hopefully this is mostly just polish.
Yeah. But it should be stated here, like, I know a lot of people freak out when they hear crunch. This doesn't sound like the worst. Like, you get one added day, but it's better than 7 days a week. You sleep at the office. Like, I've heard nightmare stories from EA, Epic, like all the Fortnite crew. Like, way worse situations where it's every day and it's multiple hours. This sounds like it's 40 hours, but they just added you to work Saturday. And 6 weeks of this versus like some of these people doing it for months. Like months.
Yeah. And they might have the added benefit of at least being in crunch mode, but at least working from home.
And they're getting paid for it.
Yeah.
So I like, again, this is like, again, I don't know. I some people are so passionate about like anti-crunch where I'm like, well, no, like a lot, I can't speak for it here, but it's like a lot of these companies, if they hit certain goals, they get bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it just seems like for me, if I was in that situation, I'd probably want to do the best I could, because it's going to, like, I'm already getting paid great. A lot of game developers do. And then you're going to get bonuses on top of that. And like, I don't know. I can't speak for everyone, but I believe it was Bethesda that had 2 bonuses. So it depends on your average review score on Metacritic and then on the sales of the game itself.
The big thing I think about crunch mode is now that the public knows that they're in crunch mode, you better release a good game that is polished, because there's so many games that have been in crunch mode and then they release stuff like Anthem.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, you guys were in a crunch mode and this is what came out. Like, not to say obviously they worked hard, but it was like, make that crunch mode at least worth it.
They worked hard because they pissed away 2 years of the initial development.
Yeah.
They didn't make a freaking decision for 2 years. They're sitting at a desk being like, I like this piece of paper.
It's like, oh, hey, they made a trailer for us. I guess we should make that.
Yeah, we should probably do something.
But enough with the bashing on Anthem today anyway. But it's just one of those things where it's like, if you're going to put the crunch time in, hopefully, like, you really shouldn't. I hate when you get a game and it's like week 2, you're on patch version 1.05.
Well, that was kind of like,
what?
I don't know if I'm wrong here. I think you have more information on this than me or experience with it, but Days Gone was kind of like that. When it came out, everyone's like, wait another week because that's going to be the good patch. And then it was like the 3rd week, then the 4th week, and every week they were just like, oh, it's a better game now. Like now it's worth a 7 out of 10. I'm like, well, that sucks for day one guy.
Oh, yeah. I did have it day one. I don't remember having too many issues. There were parts where it's like a couple T-poses, a couple times where it's like they just didn't see you. Like,
is it T-poses or were the zombies trying to do the YMCA in the background?
they didn't know how to spell it.
Yeah, it was like, damn zombies, you got the letters wrong.
I mean, it wasn't like the greatest, but wasn't the worst either. I've seen worse. So, I mean, it's so hard. Like, you get people who review these games, it's you review it at that moment, right?
Yeah.
You don't review it 2 months down the line after you've applied X amount of patches, right? And you can't unless you want to open up a company that re-reviews things.
That has been a thing I've seen, though. Like, because even, I can't say if it's IGN, but I know a couple places are going back to certain games after, like, and more, it seems like games of a service.
Yeah.
Like, Destiny. What was it like 2 years later? Yada, yada, yada. But I thought I saw another game where they're like, well, let's go back to this one and, like, see after all the patches, is it better?
Yeah. Is this playable now?
Because I thought Anthem had the same treatment, and they're like, oh, no, it's still bad.
It stayed the same.
Yeah. All
it's
the
consistent.
same. And guess what? We came back to burn Anthem again. Yay! Number 3.
Final Fantasy 16 producer says that the debut trailer that we all saw will be much more polished than it currently was shown. I'm adding the much word, but
yeah,
let's hope.
Well, and like I think this is something I brought up when we were talking about the PS5 reveal event, and yeah, I right away noticed like they borrowed a lot of assets, or at least it looks like they borrowed a lot of assets from the online multiplayer one, and
specifically the character models.
Yeah, and the hairstyle. Like literally every character I saw in that trailer looked like you, Chris, went on Final Fantasy 14 and created that character. And it just was off-putting to me because this is a PS5 reveal event, and you're showing me things like that seemingly are coming from an engine that was formed 7 years ago. And I think that's a problem to me. And like I know some people online have seen comments back and forth. And some people are like, oh no, it looked like a next-gen game to me, where a lot of others were on my side. And they're like, no, like, that's not a game you show. Like, yeah, it is in the sense of like the namesake of like, it's Final Fantasy 16. It's a numbered Final Fantasy. Yeah, finally, like we have another Final Fantasy edition. But no, like, and I think the monster models look fine. I think the environments look fine. They just seem to be the characters. So this new article's making it seem like, don't judge us on this, but then you got Jason Schreier's article last week that said like they've been working on this for 4 years. So my thing is that if you are planning on releasing within a year window here, how much different are you going to get those character models looking? I don't know. I'm a little concerned. I don't know what are your thoughts?
I agreed with your opinion on it. I thought the environments looked really good, even really good. The monsters, I mean, I remember, what were we watching last week? Oh yeah, it was the Capcom 8 Tokyo, the Monster Hunter, and it was like the second part of the video was Monster Hunter, and they were just revealing monster models.
Yeah,
I was like, really? People care this much about these monster models?
Don't make fun of Monster Hunter; they'll find you. Like, that community's passionate; and they will find all of us.
But I mean. So yeah, I agree with your opinion on the fact that the monsters look pretty cool in this game, Final Fantasy 16, and the environments look good. But the character models did look almost like they were like scooped and picked up from the other games and put into this one. And like there was some cool like cinematic like fight scenes and stuff, which I don't recall seeing in the other games. But yeah, it needs that polish. It needs that polish really good.
Yeah, like I said, I think everything else is like adequate or acceptable, but yeah, I just think it's the character models that are going to need some hard touch-ups, like almost redos in my
Yeah,
opinion. Like, because honestly, in my opinion, 15 characters look a million times better.
Oh, they did, yes.
Like
15 looked way better.
freaking Noctis's hair alone, like I could just stare at for months. Number 4.
We have confirmation that the Pathless is going to be a PlayStation 5 launch title.
So another missed opportunity, apparently, do not do a great job letting us know what the hell we're getting at launch. But holy crap, are we getting a lot at launch?
Oh man, we were looking at our schedules again. It's like, oh, we're so screwed.
Well, we were complaining, 1 or 2 episodes ago, and then we just realized today that we'll talk about later, but then Godfall's a launch title too. Like, good God in heaven, I don't have that much money or time.
We got to open up some sort of time anomaly so that we can play these things, because there's a lot of titles. Now, speaking on behalf, I think, of both of us for the Pathless, it looks like an interesting concept for a game, but it did not interest me that I would actually pick this up.
No, we have such crazy schedules in November that just seeing what this is and how it doesn't speak to me, there's just no way I couldn't fit this in. And I don't want to be mean because I don't know much about it. I watched a few videos on it. It just isn't something I feel like I'm going to be feeling like I missed out on. So I feel like this is just going to be something I pass over.
Just a reminder to what the Pathless is, just a brief synopsis. The Pathless is a colorful action-adventure game that rewards exploration and puzzle solving. As the hunter, a mysterious archer, players take down dangerous spirits with the help of their eagle companion, as well as well-placed timed arrows. That's kind of the brief what it was. It was very colorful, and yet it was also dark too, and then it looked like you can clear areas that made it brighter.
Yeah, well, that seems to be the theme of the game, is
darkness.
Yes, darkness. Once you clear darkness, colorfulness.
Yeah, so I mean, this was like, okay, I'm like, I fully expect this to be a free PlayStation Plus game in 8 to 12 months.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I could probably wait.
We
haven't heard any prices or anything on this one.
$70.
Is it?
No. If it was $70, that company would go under tomorrow.
Maybe 40, but yeah, even then I was like, it looked interesting, but not enough for me to put money down onto it yet.
No, not in the craziness that's going to be November. No way. Number 5.
PlayStation finally posts an article on what Stray is. If anybody remembers what that one was, it's a game that follows a cat. The game overview is: lost, alone, and separated from family, a stray cat must untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten city. Stray is a third-person cat adventure game set amidst the detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. See the world through the eyes of a stray and interact with the environment in playful ways. Stray is developed by Blue 12 Studio, a small team from south of France, mostly made of cats and a handful of humans. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a puzzle game, which I like puzzle games. Looks like there's going to be some stealth involved. You're going to befriend a droid, apparently, known as B12. Hopefully not the vitamin.
I was going to say, definitely the vitamin. The cat's just...
It's a drug addict cat.
Yeah, he's just tweaking on the vitamins.
So, I mean, at least we have some details of it, because during the show, like, all it was like the camera's kind of following the cat, and then you see some, like, kind of android robot people, and then it just kind of ended. So it didn't give a lot of information. So we have a little bit more information. However, we still, I don't think, have confirmation if it's a launch title or anything.
That I don't think we do.
I don't see it on the webpage, but it is PlayStation 5.
I think it is. I do believe it's an exclusive.
I think it is exclusive, yes.
So,
but not sure when the launch is. What are your thoughts on this? I like puzzle games for me, but it's another one of those ones that's like, I'll wait till it goes cheap.
Yeah, again, it's not one I'm gonna like mark on the calendar. Hope that I unwrap it at Christmas kind of thing. It's another indie, and I know I'm always down on indies. It's just they don't speak to me like, more of the AAA stuff. I'm definitely a shill for like AAA stuff.
I tend to, with the indie games, I tend to wait till it's been out for at least a couple of weeks, and then I go on to like what I like about the PlayStation is you have that option to be able to watch people streaming it and stuff. So I'll tend to do that with those types of games just to give me a little bit more. Because sometimes you just, honestly, you see a trailer, you see a cinematic trailer, some gameplay footage. sometimes that's just not enough to sell you on a game.
Yeah.
So I watch a couple people play for like half an hour, and it's like, okay, yeah, the puzzles look interesting, or the mechanics look like they'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, if an indie speaks to me, like, because it does something that really interests me, like, I'm kind of into that 12 minutes game. What else did I see?
Oh, with the big actors?
Yeah, and then Among Us, like, you know, there's weird ones that like do something so well that I'm like, oh no, I actually would try this.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what I'm seeing, well, not seeing them Stray, I just don't know if I'm gonna care. Again, I might, whenever it comes out, I might be so busy and all that anarchy that's gonna be happening.
Yeah, it may be in a game blur, you'll accidentally buy it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like you said, couple months.
Could be everyone. Yeah, exactly. You never know.
Like unfortunately, like a lot of those indies are like the prime, like what they usually are giving you, right?
Yeah. Well, we haven't really heard any announcements from Sony how much free stuff they're going to give you, right? So it's like PlayStation, one game
yeah.
Probably. Yeah, like PS4 right now, we get 2 new games every month, and PS3 would be like maybe 2 or 3 depending on the indies or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But PlayStation 5, are they going to be giving us a brand new game every month? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to hide it behind that collection deal that they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like, we just gave you 20 or 16 other games that are going to be great. So, you still want more? What? It's like, no, we want new stuff.
Number 6. So, a two-parter. We got Godfall. It released a new kicking ass trailer. So, me and Chris watched this trailer, that trailer, whatever.
Your trailer.
The trailer.
Their trailer.
So, yeah, we watched it. It's fun. A little bit of story, you know, nothing groundbreaking. You know, brother versus brother. Yeah, kind of, you know, wolf against lion, which was not just on the Game of Thrones. Like, you know, okay. So, yeah, it was fine. Then that's when it clicked in that's also a launch title, and me and Chris started to cry. There's just too many launch stuff. You know, it's a good problem to have, but it is stressing me out lately. So, yeah, I don't know. What did you think of the trailer?
It looked really good. It didn't have any gameplay. It was purely cinematic. But from what I saw, like, I liked a lot of the different armor types that they showed. It's like, ooh, I want that. And it's like, hopefully you get a game where you have the nice looking cosmetics and multiple choices, unlike Marvel's Avengers. But yeah, so it's like there's a cool wolf helmet, and then like kind of I guess it would be a lion helmet, but the hair wasn't as bad as like a lion. But
yeah,
it looked pretty good. The action had these like weapons that were transforming into like new weapons mid-fight and stuff. That it all looked pretty cool.
So I don't know. I think we're both interested. And then the second part, the Debbie Downer part, is Godfall is also going to be retailing at $70. So kind of like I've been saying this whole time, you know, maybe it takes a year for everyone to go there, but I feel like a majority of games you can expect next gen to be $70.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the benchmark that we're going to be seeing from most providers. I just wish somebody out there would justify it to people. Other than these just blank, oh, the cost of development have gone up and blah 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 blah. I'm like, let me see the financials.
I agree, because like when you're going to 4K, okay, now who's making these higher res textures? Yes, these games sometimes take longer, but I do think it shouldn't be across the board. It should be every case, you know, case by case basis. So like if you're telling me Cyberpunk's 200 hours, you guys put a lot of work, you put 5-6 years into it. God, almost 7, maybe, I don't know.
Charge me for a 200-hour game.
Yeah, then I'm fine paying $100. But if you're telling me we're getting Miles Morales and it's only a 10-hour game and you didn't spend that long, then yeah, like what they're charging the $50, great. And again, let's do that every time. But if every game is just going to be set, like, you know, we talked about the 2K, 10,000, 28K, whatever. No one knows its freaking name anymore. Then no, that game should not be $70.
No. And the other thing, I think we've talked about this before, but the one thing that always gets me is you got a $69.99 or $69.99 game, digital version, and then you go to a GameStop or EB Games or Best Buy, and they're charging the same price. And that to me is confusing, because I understand the price should be more at the store because you're paying them as the middleman. They want their cut, right? Whereas digital, they're getting all pure profit. They're not having to manufacture the disc, spend the time to like, you know, burn it to the disc. I just don't understand why those are costing the same amount.
It's their best interest, because if they undercut the stores aren't going to want to carry it. Like, you cannot go to Walmart, Titan.
We're going into the trend of where it's probably going to go pure digital in the next gen.
But they have to do it softly. You can't go to Walmart and be like,
you're done.
Yeah, and basically go to Walmart and be like, hey, you're going to carry all my shit, but then I'm going to undercut you right in the back end. And it's just like, wait, what? No, you're not. So that's honestly, and because you still have competition, right? You're competing with Xbox and Nintendo. You don't want to be the first guy to make that move. Yeah. They're just in a good spot where, like you said, it's just easily going that direction, but they're not outright being like, screw you Walmart, screw you Best Buy, screw you GameStop.
Well, we'll have this conversation when PlayStation 6 and Xbox LMFAO comes out, and we'll see how much the price drops when they're all pure digital and there are no physical copies anymore. They're going to go up another $10, and there's not going to be any reason for it.
The Xbox, the Series X.
The SXX.
Yeah. Not confusing.
No.
So number 7. And then I think more the bigger one for the week. This one seems to be some kerfluffling with what do we want to call a cross save between PS4 to PS5. There seems to be no standard here, and every game seems to differ when we're talking about your saves carrying forward to the next console. For instance, it sounds like Miles Morales, your save transfer from the PS4 to PS5 would carry over, but for some reason, anything you have for 2018's Marvel Spider-Man will not work with the remastered version. And then it also sounds like we found out that Yakuza Like a Dragon also won't work from PS4 to PS5 for whatever reason. And then, yeah, there's no rhyme or reason here. I cannot fathom why they're making this seem so difficult. Is it because they're holding information back? But I doubt it. Like, why would they come out and say, like, oh no, like, it just can't be done?
Mm-hmm. Dirt 5 was also another one that just came out too, saying that it won't transfer. I think I can't explain why they're doing this. It doesn't make sense, especially when Xbox's system kind of has, I mean, it pretty much saves everything to the cloud, and it's pretty much interchangeable with your cell phone or a tablet or whatever. I guess there might be more limitations. I mean, PlayStation's always had issues in the back end with their PSN.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately the choices they made in the past, right? It just always comes to haunt them.
Yeah,
I just don't know what it would be for this.
I'm not
like, why
sure.
could Miles Morales work? Is it because it's a new game and they could get ahead of it and make it work? Is that, like, I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, it's pretty confusing. So I guess my best advice is to, if you're playing a game on the PS4 and hey, now I can play it on the PS5, it's probably not going to, you're probably going to have to start a new game from scratch.
And if that worries you, then wait to play it on the PS5.
Yeah, that is our recommendation. Just wait for the PS5 version. Get the PS4, wait for the free upgrade, and then just go then, I guess. But I mean, you might get lucky. Maybe the game will have that feature, but it's sort of seeming right now like it's 2 to 3 that it's not going to work.
I hope it's something they can patch fix, but again, not knowing what the cause is concerning me for trying to tell people, like, yeah, like, don't worry about it. Maybe they'll be able to fix this later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it brings up so many questions. Like, what about the Horizon 2?
Yeah.
Like, is it first parties are going to get ahead of this because they knew about it first? Like, yeah. It's...
Well, I mean, this was one of the first things we talked about a couple of weeks ago, where it was like, I have the DLC for Spider-Man, and I was like, well, maybe is my save file going to go to the PlayStation 5 so I'll be able to play them? That was the first question I asked, because I was like, maybe I can wait till PlayStation 5 and then play the DLCs for the first time. And then it's like, now it's sounding like, no, it's not. You're going to have the remastered version, and
the remastered version, like, maybe there were some changes. Like, that one I almost understand, but it's these other ones that should just be the same game. I don't understand why that wouldn't work.
Yeah. I have to assume that, like, then does that mean double trophy support?
I know Spider-Man is.
Yeah, it's going to.
The remastered has its own standalone trophies.
Okay.
So yeah, like, people like you will be excited for that.
Could double up.
Yep. Oh, for sure. And then
double dip.
I just don't know about these other ones. They must then, if the save doesn't carry over, they better.
Well, it's I mean, right now, even when you play some older games, if you look at the trophies for some, it shows like PS Vita, PS3, PS4, so it combines them all. I think even Destiny has that too, where it's like PS4 and PS5 in one section. So now we might, or PS3 and PS4 or whatever. So we might now get that section where it just adds another category, PS5. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to hope that PlayStation's got a couple more surprises in the bag, which I'm pretty sure it sounds like they are holding some stuff back, which is good, but is it going to be enough? I don't know. Game Pass is getting better and better.
Like, when do you reveal that? Like,
we haven't even seen the
interface
yet. So it's like, how have we not even seen a tease or a leak or anything of this thing? I have nothing to go on.
No, you're right. Yet we pre-ordered. we just blindly ran in there like it must be had.
Blind faith.
Yeah, that's true.
But we got in. And that's another thing we could talk about briefly, but it's sounding like it's pretty rough to get your pre-order. we got super lucky getting ours in, I think, because people are struggling to get pre-orders for these, either one, Xbox or the PlayStation.
Yeah, so I just heard more waves from where was it? Amazon did it real bad, but I heard another place was going back at people and being like, actually, and I'm just like, oh, that has to be the worst thing to receive.
Oh yeah, that I've gotten it before, but I got it on things that I was like, this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's like I'll try and see if I get it through, but I will fully expect for them to send me an email saying it was a mistake in our system.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, yeah, it's unfortunate, but boy, howdy, am I excited for the 12th of November. Okay, so that's it for our articles. We finished all 7 in a timely fashion, like we hope to achieve every week. So we're moving on to homework. This is the segment of the show where we talk about things that we didn't really have time to talk about and that we don't really want to get too in depth about. So we let you know what it is, and then you can, on your own free time, look into it and investigate. But here we go. First one, WB Interactive president responds to ongoing debate over supporting J.K. Rowling. Just a small article on IGN. You can look it up, but it's basically the developers talking about how you guys should hopefully be able to separate the developers from the author. It sounds like there wasn't a lot of collaboration between the two, so the game should stand on its own, and you shouldn't feel like you need to place your purchasing power on her views when really, like, you're just going to be punishing people that this is their job and livelihood, and they put a lot of work into this. And, you know, I mean, in the end of it, make your own decision, obviously. But yeah, just, you know, hopefully don't punish people that really can't control the crazy crap that comes out of her mouth. Moving on. I guess we only have the 2 today, but the second one is we finally have an announcement of what the free games are for the month of October. We got Need for Speed Payback, which I'm kind of interested to try. I was looking it up. It looks like it's got more heistiness. Is that a word? Heistiness involved in it. Less racing, more heists. I love making up words, so let's do it.
Heistiness. And the second game that's free is Vampire. Pyr. Vampire. I played that one. I really enjoyed it. I like the choices. It had choices of who you kill, who you don't kill, all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed it. I know you briefly tried it. Maybe now that it's free, maybe you'll get a little bit more into it. I thought it was a pretty good just RPG and had I had lots of fun with that one.
I had issue with its combat just feeling janky, but I don't know. I also didn't give it I didn't give it a fair shake. So now that it's free and I can spend a little more time in it, like, maybe I will enjoy it. Like, you know, drop my expectations a few points and maybe I'll be okay with it. I'm not into racing games, so that one doesn't really speak to me, but I can appreciate that it, you know, it's sounds like a solid title. You know, I think both offerings are better than we've had in a bit. Like, what was last month? PUBG and Street Fighter.
Yeah. Street Fighter, I think, is pretty. I mean, it's obviously one of the better ones of that type, but
it's also
that's a
6
very
years old.
Narrow. It's very old, and it's very narrow market audience for Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And PUBG, well, I mean, the PC version's a little bit better, but I haven't tried the console version, but I can't imagine it's great.
Well, yeah, if the PC chugs, then yeah, good luck.
So, and yeah, that's also another one that kind of it definitely has a bigger market, I think, than what Street Fighter would have.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
But just in the fact that it's a shooter, and you can play first person or third person, but yeah, I think that's 2 solid titles for October.
Street Fighter, I guess the only positive thing I say is, like, I can play Ken and then punch another Ken in the face because he looks stupid. They're like, here you go, Ken. You get to punch yourself in the face.
Stop hitting yourself.
And that is it for the show.
Yeah.
We finished all 7 articles in that timely fashion that we love so much. So until next Monday, we'll keep the gates. We'll keep them closed. Keep Grandma out. The ghost of Grandma have passed. Grandma passed instead of Christmas. Yay! So anyway, until next Monday, we're going to have a good time. We're going to talk to you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. If you could possibly give us a 5-star review on those services, as well as make others aware of our content through the power of word of mouth, it would be extremely appreciated. Holy fuck, I actually got through that. I did, that is like, the whole time I was like, you're going to drop. It's like a fucking scary rhythm
You're
game.
You're going to fail at life.
The series, or the Xbox 1.5 series SXF, like, my life. That's what it should be just called, the Xbox FML.